As a Pirates fan, I was always looking forward to covering Pirates matches. The rain, it was heavy on the day. I remember being on the field, and then what happened is I ended up taking off my shoes, continuing to take pictures. The game was hot. Around that time, he was on top of his game. Remember, he was Bafana Bafana captain. He was also doing well club level and on. What was nice about that game is that Pirates won. We were happy and that, but the happiness didn't last long because the next day, late in the evening, he passed on. It was one of those games where I was supposed to just take pictures. As soon as it starts raining, I go home. But I soldiered on until the end of the game. And then what happened in the day is I took Senzo's last picture, not knowing that it was his last picture. I named the picture his last kick a day or two after his death. Recalling that Sunday, I remember coming back from the office. As tired as I was, got home, I threw my bag on the floor. I was sitting on the couch. 15 or 10 minutes after I'm home, then a call came from one of my contacts, and the call was just to say to me, Senzo's just been shot.
I got to know him a lot because he was one of those, not really disgruntled, but one of those players who were starved of game time. So those are usually the easiest players to get along with because they have all the time in the world for the media. So we became brothers in the sense that we would keep in touch even on things that have nothing to do with football. And he was like a brother, man. He was like a brother. So it's said that 9 years later, there's still no justice for him. And even his father passed away without knowing what really happened to his sons.
I was actually still in high school, and I remember when the news broke, and it was really sad because, in my opinion, he was a generational South African goalkeeper. We had thought at the time that no one would be able to displace Kune, but he came and he put in consistent performances that really wowed us, and his ability in terms of being a goalkeeper and just his personality was just very refreshing and very, he was very, very talented. And it's so sad that he still hasn't got justice. All goalkeepers can have the ability to catch a cross or make a save, but he was different. And the reason he was different is because you could see that he was a leader. He was somebody who led his defense and often communicated with them and often crapped them out if they messed up. And you could also see that he just had charisma. And when you have a goalkeeper with that passion and that drive, it's impossible to not be inspired as a team. Senzo was a personality that was impossible to not like. He was vibrant. He always spoke clearly, and he never hid away when the pressure was on, and that is why he became a cult hero. And if it wasn't for his death, I'm pretty sure that he would be a Orlando Pirates legend.
I think I didn't see him becoming as big as he was before his death, because I thought, like, this guy, it's unfortunate that he's in the same generation as this, Kune. So it was like, this guy, you will always be your number 2 or your number 3 in the team, because there was a general consensus. Maybe a Pirates fan would have disagreed, but there was a general consensus that the best goalkeeper in the country, whether they're playing overseas or anywhere, was Kune. And it looked like he would never be shaken or never be moved. So Senzo took us a lot by surprise, and in fact, his ability grew more and more and more. At Pirates, when he came through, Pirates had Munib Josephs as their number 1, if I recall correctly. So, and Munib was quite, the showman, and he was adored by a lot of people, excellent at penalties. Soweto derbies were very, very interesting. So when Senzo became that guy, even in the Soweto derbies, he gave us that entertainment, those acrobatic saves, and he was a showman. I don't want to lie, and he had the ability to back it up as well with what he does with his gloves.
I mean, who can ever forget those Champions League matches that he played for Pirates, where he proved to be one of the top keepers in Africa, stopping penalties, playing under those difficult conditions in Africa, as we know them to be. But he proved his worth. So he was a very important player for Pirates, and it's just so sad that up to this stage, 9 years later, there's still no one has been sentenced or punished for his death.
His playing style, like I said, not the biggest, awesome with his feet. He was a good goalkeeper, solid goalkeeper. He was among the best. Munib Josephs, Tumlin Kune, and Senzo were, I think, some of the top 3 goalkeepers in South African football.
I think my best memory of Senzo will have to be the 2013 Champions League, that 2013 Champions League game. I think it was against TP Mazembe, and he saved 2 penalties in that game. If I recall correctly, he kept Pirates in the game. They lost the first leg, but managed to go through in the second leg. I think that Senzo would have probably had a long and fruitful career. It's unfortunate that he had to go out the way he did. I think that the fans deserve justice. His family deserves justice. I would have liked to see him see his career through. He was a unique talent. It was obvious to everyone, and it's completely unfortunate. 9 years later, we need answers.